such bullshit. I've never been so pissed in my whole life. I just murdered Charlie Kirk right here in Utah. I'm so freaking pissed right now. This is bullshit. I just saw blood squirting out of his neck. I love that guy. He would have been our next president. I am so pissed right now. Why do they always come with fucking violence? Gosh damn it. Use your freaking words as they're talking to you people. Who shot Charlie Kirk? I'm driving down a Provo right now. I'm so pissed. Damn it.
Hi guys, Global here. Subscribe before I continue with the commentary. So, MAGA is just being ruined by its own hands. But because people in MAGA don't think of, MAGA has been complaining for a long time, But now MAGA it has come to the sense that they have been fucking around, and now they are finding out that they made the mistake of voting red. Because this ain't the first time they are voting for red. This is the second time they are voting for Trump, giving Trump to lead, giving Trump the first way to be the president in America. But now they are getting, and they are, everything in MAGA is being ruined. Today, MAGA are even fighting, Christians are fighting.
No, MAGA Christians are not real Christians. You cannot call yourself a Christian and support the oppression of others, especially marginalized communities. Whenever you are supporting the stripping away of rights of vulnerable populations, you are not following Jesus. If you are anti-immigrant, that's anti-Jesus. If you are anti-LGBTQ plus inclusion, that's anti-Jesus. Jesus called us to be loving, accepting, and to always be expanding the table. Furthermore, you cannot be a Christian nationalist and call yourself a Jesus follower. Christianity was fired in the kiln of anti-imperialism. Jesus was speaking out against the evils of empire. Now, all of us participate in some way in empire because we are a part of empire, but we are to call out the evils of empire. We are to stand for those who are being oppressed and marginalized. If we promote empire, that is anti-Christ. So, no, you can't hold MAGA beliefs and call yourself a Christian.
White Christian was we went to church or in a black church, but now the pastor was saying that this is not a black church. This is a Christ church. It's a Christ church. It ain't for anybody. It ain't for one person or one race. It's for people who believes in God, who believes in serving the living God.
I want to remind everybody, this is not a black church. Don't exist here. This is the Church of Jesus Christ. And we thank God for this mixture of melanin, white, black, and brown, because there is no black church here. It is only the brothers and sisters of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen, anybody. This is what heaven is going to look like. And I want you to love each other deeply, no matter the color of your skin. For we will never make skin color an idol, nor is it a god. Your skin is not an idol, nor is it a god. And I want us to love one another deeply, no matter what we look like. I don't play those games. And I don't care. I ain't up here for popularity. I want to die empty and die faithful.
MAGA have cried for a lot of times. Somebody said that MAGA now they're crying babies because MAGA are crying too much for small things. It's not a mistake because they know what they're passing through. They know what they are going through. They know what they are facing as a state. So MAGA state right now is being ruined up. I have clips. Watch them. I'll come back with more commentary on this video. Subscribe. Meanwhile, prepare thoughts. Then comment below.
Are you also watching conservatives and Republicans crawl out of the woodwork, all of a sudden up in arms about our free speech rights being taken away and going, why was this the hard line? Let me do my best to explain it to you. The first thing you have to understand is that MAGA is not a political party, really, in any way, shape, or form. It's just a cult. It doesn't even have political values that it staunchly stands behind, because the only true rule is that you need to be agreeing with Donald Trump 100% of the time. Anything that comes out of his mouth, and if you don't agree, you're not in the cult. That's the only rule. MAGA, as most of us know, is built on bigotry and hatred. A lot of people within that thought that it was siphoned and compartmentalized to actually protect them in their identities. So a lot of white people, a lot of men, mostly a lot of white men, they're all in there right now going, this is all happening to the others that we hate so much, but we can control it because it's never going to be us, because white supremacy. So what's happening right now is that Charlie Kirk got shot, whether or not the administration planned the hit, regardless. But let's say they did, just for the sake of this argument. Charlie Kirk got shot. Before that, Stephen Colbert had already had his show axed, and now Jimmy Kimmel has been axed. So what they're seeing happening right now is, oh, this isn't just people we don't agree with these things can happen to. It's not just leftists that are going to be miserable and out of control under this administration. It could be us too. It could be white men. It could be rich people. It could be people that completely ideologically, for the most part, support the current administration. And you will not be the exception. They don't care about you. And that's what they're learning right now. So they're scared all of a sudden. They're realizing that the hatred and the bigotry doesn't just stop at them, and their best interests are not being held in the heart of their Lord and Savior, Donald Trump. Because here's the thing. It was never about white supremacy. It was never about religious supremacy. They just said that to you because they knew they could propagandize you with it. What it always has been is them versus us. Billionaires, big business rich guys versus the rest of us. No matter how rich you think you are, I bet you're not up there. You're not actually up there. So it's still them versus us versus them. All of the people that are crawling out of MAGA, Republican Party, conservatism, whatever, they're now realizing they are us. They are not them.
In case of any disadvantage of you believing in someone, then someone turns against your will, goes against your expectations. It makes you feel so bad because it leaves a space in your heart that is maybe a heavy heart in you. So Trump has left a heavy heart in MAGA people. For too long, they have believed in him. They even chose him over their own interest. Because if they really loved their work, they really loved their farm, they really loved what they're producing, they will never vote for it. Because Trump had already said earlier that he will deport anybody who is in America and he doesn't have documents. So mind you, there are farmers. Their labor is from the black people who are living in America who don't have documents. Definitely they were selling the black people to Trump. Because after Trump getting power, he will deport them to their countries. Now, MAGA will start begging for help to be maybe to build something again. Now, even the other day, Nebraska were crying. Nebraska, Arkansas were begging the federal government to come through for them. Just farmers were begging the government to come through for them. They need the help. They need to be helped.
So the farmers in Arkansas are quite literally begging the government for money.
Almost everything that could go wrong for Arkansas farmers did go wrong this year. And it's so bad that many are facing bankruptcy or even the closure of farms that have been passed down for generations.
If there's no emergency funding this year, there will be 1 out of 3 farmers will file bankruptcy.
Until the federal government steps in to save them, farmers have no one to turn to but God.
Farmers, in my opinion, it's only my opinion, they're closer.
In case you didn't know, Trump put a tariff on all fertilizer, seed, and other things that farmers need. And a lot of these farmers were part of the U.S. aid. The U.S. aid contracted these farmers to make things like soybeans and rice. But now Trump slashed almost all of the U.S. aid, and it is leaving farmers going bankrupt. Because God forbid we send food to foreign countries. And now those farmers are out of a job. Most of these farmers voted for this, and now they are asking for government handouts. When Trump said he was going to defund all of these programs, also implement all of these tariffs, did you really think that you would not be affected by all of this? Are you that gullible?
So did y'all hear about the people that are moving to Arkansas? They want to build their own town. Stop it. So did you know also that now they are begging the government to help them? They want money for housing. They want money for food. I thought you were so above everyone and you can only be white to live here. Really? Use your whiteness and all that money that you claim you have and build your own town the way you said. No one cared. No one cared that you had that land, that you only wanted white people. You had to put in an application and they can deny your application because you weren't white enough and you weren't superior enough. Oh, really? So why do you need that same government to assist you, boo. That doesn't even make good common sense. And then they claim that they're so great at building and architecture and engineering, but they're not even qualified. If you look up the qualifications in their town, they don't match. So the only qualifications it looks like they have, I'm white.
Until when will you believe that you first thing first, you should choose yourself first before choosing anybody else. Choose yourself first. Choose you before choosing anybody else. That one that I know, and anybody know that if you choose your own interest first, somebody else comes next. So if only MAGA will never think of their skin color with the black people's skin color, they will never vote for Trump, because Trump was going to ruin them, going to finish them. Now, Trump is now implying tariffs on them, on the people who are trying to invest in America. Trump is implying tax on people who are buying your product, soybeans. They can never bought today because now they have moved to buy them from Brazil and Argentina because of Trump's implying tariffs, high tariffs on them. Trump is asking for 100% tariffs on product. How? You can't import anything from China to America and pay as much as you are supposed to be paying. You pay extra. You are asking to pay like 105% tariffs. So the only way you can do something, you can sell something in America and make a profit is by buying it in America land. So you know that one you can't be able to import that. You will not be paying for tax to import from another country to America. But if you import anything outside America, you have to pay a very high price on the tariffs.
Undocumented immigrants in the United States cannot receive health insurance from Obamacare, from Medicaid, from Medicare. They are barred from doing so. And if you tell me, oh, but I know my DI primo, they're doing that illegally. That is illegal. Okay? And the Republicans, all of the maggots, are saying that Democrats didn't want to vote on the spending bill that would have kept the government open because they're dying on the hill of giving health care to illegals. No, the reason the government is shutting down is because the Democrats refused to join a vote on the spending bill that would keep the government open or would reopen it at this point. Why? Because MAGA wants to gut health care in this country for millions of people, even more than they already have. So what happens now? Hundreds of thousands of people in this country are furloughed, right? Federal workers are furloughed, meaning they are given unpaid leave. And whenever the government ramps back up, they're going to come back to work. And aside from that, there are many other people who work in very essential jobs. For example, like air traffic control people. They're working right now with no pay. And they're going to have to wait until all of this is sorted out to be able to receive retroactive pay. So no, Democrats aren't to blame. We have a Republican-controlled House, Senate, Supreme Court, presidency. They are in full control of what is happening in this country right now. And if they don't want to solve these things, the least Democrats can do is do this as protest. Force them to come to the table to make concessions on these topics that need concessions to be made. I actually have a good example of how healthcare works with undocumented immigrants. Stick with me. An uncle of mine lived here in the US, in Miami specifically, for many, many years. And one day he had a really, really gruesome workplace accident. We thought he quite literally died, right? He fell off a roof. And it was so bad that when they called the ambulance, the Jackson helicopter from Jackson Memorial Hospital here in Miami, they came to pick him up and took him all the way to Ryder Trauma. They did emergency surgery on him. They stabilized him, all that. Thankfully, he's still alive, right? He's living in Honduras now. But the thing is, that's all, right? They only stabilize people who are undocumented here in the US. If they want to get more healthcare, more, attention, medical attention, they need to either pay out of pocket or be in some kind of life or death situation where an ambulance or a doctor is not going to be like, oh, wait, you're undocumented? Yeah, let me not save your life because you're an illegal. That's not how things work, at least for now, in the United States. So yeah, if you are directly or indirectly affected, which I think we all are, by a government shutdown, you know who to blame. It's MAGA, it's Trump, and it's the Republican Party.
The last time I checked, MAGA were chanting. MAGA was so happy when Trump was standing in the campaign, saying that just vote for me only this time, and you won't vote for the next 4 years. You won't cry again for the next 4 years. Today, it is other way around. They're crying. They can't believe that Trump just really fucked them up. They didn't get it in the way they want things to be. So it's about them to wake up and know that they fucked up, and now they have found out. Now they have to stand on their own and they say no some things. So Trump has fucked Americans so much. And it's high time American stop choosing their skin color. You feel me? Choosing their skin color over other people's skin color. They should let everybody has an impact one way or the other. Okay, Trump said that he will deport every black person in America to provide jobs for you. But how many people have been laid off in America? How many people have been laid off from work in America? Even in the government, people are being laid off. The other day, I was looking at a video about Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a state in America. Las Vegas was beautiful. Las Vegas was making money. It was the best entertainment area that you will ever visit in the world. Even in the movies, it has a name. Mind you, Las Vegas was a desert. Back then, was a desert. But now they stand up and they built it to something meaningful, something valuable. Now it was an amazing place to visit in America. But today, people have been laid off in Las Vegas for such things.
Oh my God, they know. And they know they can't stop it. I've known this was coming for 10 years, but until now, I didn't realize there was a name for it. It's the thing that makes us say, is it just me, or are there more crazies than ever before? The Trump spike in racism, sexism, and hate, it's the emotional foundation for the entire Make America Great Again movement. That nostalgia for when life in America was simpler and paler. But as soon as we began addressing it, boom. Extinction burst. This term is why I love science so much. You can take an idea from one field, like psychology, for example, and apply it to another field, like political science, and the principles still apply. Extinction burst is actually really simple. It's when you have a behavior and a reward, and you withdraw the reward in order to change the behavior. When you do that, usually to change an undesirable behavior, the behavior itself increases in frequency and intensity for a short period of time, until ultimately the subject changes the behavior, and then that behavior goes extinct. This is like you're at the store and you're swiping your credit card and it doesn't work, and so then you swipe your credit card like 15 more times until you're so angry, you're freaking out, and you're about to scream an F-bomb in the middle of Toys R Us. And then you say, I'll just pay with cash. The swiping is the behavior and the payment is the reward. So when the swiping doesn't work and you don't get the reward you need, you get madder and madder, and you try it more and more until you change the behavior, which then results in the extinction of the original behavior. Now, extinction burst at the national level is much slower, but in this case, we actually know very clearly what triggered it. It was Obama's election in 2008. Sarah Palin, the Tea Party movement, the birther movement, and ultimately MAGA, it is a 10-year tsunami of rage in the face of inevitable extinction. This is why Republicans are still so angry. They know Trump winning can't stop it, and they know Trump in office can't stop it. They can feel the inevitable extinction of their own terrible beliefs. At this point, the only thing that'll stop it is if we let up. If you stop interfering with that undesirable behavior, it will go back to normal. So no, you're not crazy. Yes, you are doing the right thing, and yes, if you
This is Global Health. Subscribe, share, and leave a comment to this video. May God bless you. I love you, and till next time, I'm out.